Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and the hotfix patch notes and the TWAB dropped within like 30 seconds of each other, so I guess we will be covering both of them in one fell swoop here. We'll start with the TWAB here. I don't have any idea if this is a long TWAB. It looks pretty long. I guess we'll find out. I'm trying to figure out why the pirate ships have this like crazy pattern on them. I haven't like figured out what the like references there, but I'm just wondering where that came from. Anyway, all right. This week at Bungie, we enjoyed a weekend of watching Guardians take on the Taken King once more, and we're now back at it with a matchmaking update plus more pirate puns. Watching you all take on King's Fall this past week has been incredible. For many, this was a welcome return, bringing with it feel-good nostalgia with a challenging twist. For others, this was their first shot at experiencing a part of Destiny's history for themselves. Regardless of where you fall on that spectrum of players, there's one thing that we can all agree on. Jumping puzzles are the bane of our existence, and if those hilarious and often failed, in my case, attempts aren't a fire team bonding moment, we don't know what is. Yeah, those tomb ships, huh? Yeah, it's on Warlock. Not so great. Don't love that. Alright, for this week's TWAB-tastic adventure, we've got some behind-the-scenes data about recent matchmaking changes, a new expedition location to loot for booty, while putting the best pirate foot forward, world-first celebrations, and a few other things outside Destiny 2 we're excited to share. Alright, we'll see how substantive this is. It's really long, but I don't know if there's like that much game stuff. I guess we'll find out. Alright, this season we implemented the loose SBMM that we talked about in August. To talk about the launch version of this revised feature is Principal Designer Alan Blaine, here with a vibe check in the PvP verse of Season of Plunder. Take it away, Alan. Sure, this will be totally non-controversial and no one will have any thoughts on it. Alan. Hi folks, this sure was a great start to Season of Plunder and Ritual Land. We have seen a significant uptick in the number of players and the amount of time spent within Crucible. Alright, while we are excited to talk about the bright future of Crucible development, I'm sure a lot of you want to hear about the loose SBMM we added to Control. I want to hear about the bright future of Crucible development personally, but sure, we'll start with this. As we talked about in an earlier TWAB, one of the functions of the Season 18 Control node is to help us tune a solid 6v6 matchmaking setting before we start implementing new matchmaking features, like team size and dynamic skill ranges. We're going to start with a fun tale about live game development just to illustrate why we like to run smaller tests before rolling things out wider. If you just want the weekly stats and future details, skip down to the stats from week 1 section. This is essentially, they didn't have it on by accident. Alright, we'll just read it. Starting at reset on August 23rd, loose SBMM Controller was supposed to go live. Instead, players who joined Control found they were matched up against anyone and everyone. Skill didn't seem to matter, neither did platform. Normally, PC players are separated from console and Stadia players via matchmaking. So what happened here? During that day's update patch for Season of Plunder, the file with the new matchmaking settings was not updated, and instead Control used our default matchmaking settings. Once we found the bug and figured out what was going on around 7 p.m. the same day, we got the file update, and everyone was using loose SBMM. Hooray! This illustrates a couple of key points. We do our updates and weekly resets on Tuesday rather than Friday, so when something unexpected happens, no one must pull weekend heroics to fix the game. We make, is that why patches are on Tuesday? I've always wondered why reset and patches are on Tuesday. Well, hotfixes are like Thursday usually. We make changes in one location first to make sure it is stable before expanding it to other users, especially when we are exercising systems that haven't been changed recently. Well, there we are. Default matchmaking. The default matchmaking everyone played till 7 p.m. is never actually seen in-game if things go well. It is designed as a fallback that just works and finds people to play with but doesn't do anything clever. Default matchmaking ignores platform skill and almost everything else. The only thing it takes into account is latency, but only for the first 15 seconds of matchmaking. After that, it's no holds barred. So on the morning of August 23rd, if your control match took longer than 15 seconds to matchmake, which it almost always does, it was basically just picking the first 11 people it found, no matter how good the connections to you were, what platform they were on, or what their skill was. And of course, this could cause laggy players, bad hit registration, and matching with players far outside your skill band. This is why we sometimes spend multiple minutes on our various matchmaking thresholds, making sure latency is solid as we can get it. My favorite thing was people complaining about how bad SBMM was when it was not even on during this time. Good old placebo effect control group experimentation there, apparently by accident. Stats from week 1. So, as of 7 p.m. Tuesday night, we have had loose SBMM in Control, and we have some interesting results. Let's dive right in. Man, this should be good. In the first week of Season of Plunder, 140,000 more hours of Crucible have been played in the first week than of Season of Haunted. We had an 11% increase in the total number of players playing Control. I don't know what how big that is in context, but 11% increase is something, I guess. Matchmaking times. Overall, matchmaking went up by 5 to 10 seconds. It's a good indication that the matchmaking is working, but isn't showing our worst cases, the lower population segments, extreme low and high skill. For the highest skill band, less than 0.1% of the population, matchmaking times average around 90 seconds during high population times and 200 seconds during low population times. Oof. For the lowest skill band, we see matchmaking between 120 and 240 seconds at worst. So that's 4 minutes to find a game with other very bad people. I guess I can take solace in the fact that it did not take me 4 minutes to find a game, so I guess I am not in the bottom 0.1% of players, maybe. Just looking at these matchmaking times, the current settings look like they are getting us to where we want to be. Oh, really? Okay. However, we are cautious about making too many assumptions right now. We have plenty of anecdotal evidence of bad connections in those high-skill games, and Week 1 is one of the highest population moments of the season. Skill differences. The skill differences we see in control matches are pretty stark. Without SBMM, only 10% of matches had 600 or less skill difference between the highest and lowest players. With SBMM on, we see that 80% of games have that separation or less. For 90% of games without SBMM, the average skill of all players within a game is between 300 and negative 100. Now we see a significant number of games with a high average of 600 and low as negative 500. So essentially this means some games going as low as negative 900. So this is essentially you are matching with people closer to your skill level, which is the point. Game outcomes. Looking at game outcomes where our work really matters, we see more interesting data. Mercy games are down 4%. Not as much as we hope, but it has been shrinking little day by day. That is not very much. Games where the score threshold has remained steady, and games that go to time rose by 4%. Neither of those seems very different. These are all within range, and we expect the first few weeks will be more chaotic than normal. As players readjust their playstyles from optimized play against a wide variety of players to optimized play against similarly skilled players, the skill system will adjust to reflect those changes. We would expect Mercy games to shrink slowly over the coming weeks. If time limit games rise consistently during that time, we will likely look at the score goal and lower it to compensate. Yeah, I think they do got to lower the score goal for a lot of things. As far as score and kill differences, we see a similar set of incremental improvements. Games where the best player had 30 plus kills more than the worst player went from 9% of games to 2%. Yeah, that's what I've noticed the most is I just am not seeing games where like there's one person just like running the board on everybody. It just, I'm not seeing those players anymore, indicating everyone is more close in skill. I mean, I'm still, winning or losing by significant margins sometimes, but no one is like going crazy ham on anyone, which I guess the people who used to go ham on people miss that, but here we are. Games where the best player only had 10 to 19 more kills than the worst player went from 35% of games to 55%. So it's like medium good amount of kills. So I think that's what they were going for. Quitting. Here we go. We have seen one worrying trend in the data. The percentage of players quitting before the end of the match has risen from 8% to 12% in the last week. That is lower than I thought it would be, actually. This is especially bad with matches designed to be balanced with 12 equally skilled players. Let me guess, the PvP players don't want to hear that people are being whiny and just leaving because it's latency and people you don't want to play from people 3,000 miles away and whatever. I've heard a lot of excuses. We'll see what they say here. We're still investigating to see if this is localized to a specific cohort or playstyle, or if this is natural player reaction to a new system. This percentage may reduce over time. Stay tuned. Yeah, I don't have the most sympathy for people quitting in matches are harder than they used to be system. That's a whole debate for another day, I suppose, but if you're just like lagging like the living hell out of the game and it's like physically unplayable, sure. But I have my doubts that is what is actually happening here in many of these cases. I don't know. Okay, future plans. There are a number of points of concern we are addressing. The number of poor connections during matches. There we go. The number of players quitting matches early. Other than those, most of the analytics have been positive. Considering this a new experience will take some folks to get time to get used to it. For now, we're taking a few steps. We are extending the time that loose SBMM will sit and wait for the best connection quality between group leaders. Hopefully, this will increase the overall connection quality when matchmaking goes past 2 minutes. We have new analytics coming online soon, which should give us a better picture of connection quality between all players within matches, not just the group leaders. We're going to add in quitter protection to control in a future patch. We will discuss this more in a future TWAB. Okay. So they're going to... what is quitter? Is quitter protection like you're protecting the people on the losing team, or quitter protection is like you're penalizing the people who quit? It sounds like you're protecting the people on the team with no people on it. Because I think people would get pretty mad if you start penalizing people for leaving quick play, but we'll see. For the immediate future, you can look forward to Iron Banner next week with Eruption. Oh yeah, that's next week. Okay. And are there new Iron Banner weapons? I haven't really paid attention or looked at the whatever. Okay. They have an army, we have an Ido. What did the ocean say to the pirate? Nothing. Water can't talk, but at least it makes waves. Oh, Liana. Well, we haven't mastered communicating with water yet, but we do have the sick pirate puns always at full mast. We do have a different expedition location to uncover for Guardians looking to make Ido proud, as we should, because she must be protected at all costs. This week we're heading into the Cosmodrome to loot all of the booty that you could possibly want. For those that may be jumping into Season of the Plunder for the first time, Expedition is... we know what Expedition is. Okay. Alright, that's not really news. There's just a Cosmodrome one now. I don't know where the third one is. Can we get a King's Fall with the side of World Firsts? Team Elysium won, as we know. Celtic Greppo and his squad. Alright, so here's some stats. Interesting. King's Fall, round 2, Destiny fight. Normal, 458,000 did it. Challenge, 35,000 did it. Total hours spent in King Fall. Alright, so clears, 49,000. So day 1, 49 out of 458, and 17. So almost half of all challenge completed, but only like 10% of normal completed. Do not know how this compares to VOG or other raids, so I'm not sure about the context of this. That would be kind of useful, but all right. So they did a whole interview with Salt and Greppo. I don't know if I'm going to read this whole interview here. They're a great team, probably the best team we've ever seen, because they are winning all these World's First titles with challenge mode on, so there is no real so-and-so team grinded out a lot and, you know, was able to beat something that other teams that didn't grind could. This is just kind of skill, so that's very impressive. So yeah, I would read this interview. I just don't know if I'm going to read this entire interview in the TWAB recap here. I don't know what this is. Team Rubicon for National Preparedness Month. Okay, this is a time to raise awareness for preparing for disasters and emergencies that could happen at any time. So we're doing a charity thing. This is the emblem. If you donate $50 or more, it's the Seeds of Hope emblem. And while we're here doing charity things, I will reiterate this. Sorry for switching to light mode here. This has been going around on Twitter today, where if you can, there's a Guardian who died, and we want to honor them by making our Guardians gold for the month of September. This is what I came up with for my Titan, which, look at these, I freaking love these Plunder shoulders. So good, so good. So if you do want to do that, feel free. Gold Leaf Sigil Shader, Vintage Timber. Someone listed all of the gold shaders in that thread somewhere. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. A lot of people just posting their Guardians. So go do that if you want to be involved in that. Guardians photosensitivity. They are still working on a lot of stuff within that. I know this is a big important thing to Liana specifically, which is why we're kind of getting updates on it, and it's definitely something we need to be aware of. Player support. I guess this is probably where we might switch over to the patch notes. I guess this is existing. Oh, Dawn Chorus Exotic doesn't appear in I thought they were going to say the Dawn Chorus ornament. I'm like, wait, there's an ornament for Dawn Chorus? Give me that immediately. Oh no, the Battler doesn't get a gold border when enhanced perks are added. That's so sad. Not that I have one or any of those patterns yet, but... oh man. Stormtrance does not increase its damage over time when attacking. Well, that is not great. Is it always supposed to do that? I thought it was only doing that with that one exotic. Whatever it's called. Alright. Prime Gaming. Movie of the Week. Corn Guardian. Good stuff. Art. That's pretty good. Alright. Future Surprise Client Content for AIDS. We are participating in the Game Devs of Color Expo. So you can guys check that out. That is, they're going to a celebration in Florida. And yeah, okay. TWABs, they grow up so fast. Before you know it, they're heading right up to college. And on a more serious note, we're excited to see all of your thoughts on the latest storyline for season of Plunder. We're loving your excitement over Drifter and your pledges of undying love for Ido. She's pretty great, so keep the memes of eternal devotion coming because they are hilarious. With all the PvP talk, please remember we are always taking in feedback. Sometimes that feedback won't make it into the game for 1,000,000,001 different reasons, but you know in what other ways your input can inspire other equally important changes in the world of Destiny. For now, get in there, board those pirate ships, take all the booty you can handle, good phrasing, and make sure you're drinking your water as you go. Hydration, hydration, hydration. It's what I don't want. I'm literally drinking a Gatorade as we speak. Until next time, Guardians. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the hotfix because this is probably the more relevant information. I just posted a tweet about this right as I was about to start recording this. Okay, you can no longer dupe the treasure thing. A lot of people were like dropping it and duping it so you could just speed through expeditions really fast. Good in some ways because it would make it go fast. Bad in other ways when you are trying to personally throw those for your own objectives or to get those ruffians to spawn for the seasonal title. And then King's Fall issues. I don't know enough about King's Fall runs besides the one I did to know what these are. They finally nerfed Omnioculus. So this is the actual nerf here. Tier 4 is down to 10%. Also the booster change. Weapons, apparently bows are reloading themselves. Cool. Quicksilver Storm can now be used in all activities again. I just got that because I got my Lightfall code. And I have not really used it yet, but I did try this out. And yes, you can use it in dungeons and stuff. Minus 1350, so I still need to infuse it. Machine gun and sidearms from the season had 2 masterwork slots. Did not see that. Heavy GLs are enabled. Apparently they are back to their normal damage values. I assume that means the 10% buff they were supposed to get, but they're not going to be crazy anymore, but you can use them again, including those blues that were disabled. Apparently there were a lot of issues with Arc Strider. I never heard about these, but Combination Blow could stagger boss opponents continually. Something was applying to Tempest Strike. And so is the energy regen bonus. I guess that is all fixed now. Those videos where you saw Arc Strider just dodging out of like 4 supers and being fine, apparently that was a bug, and so that is now fixed. And finally, yes, they fixed resilience with Arc, Warlocks, and Titans. I have tested this. I am pretty sure it's fine now, and this says it's fine now. It's interesting because it's a Striker and Stormcaller. Are those the names of all the classes? I thought. Do I have that wrong? Like, is Chaos Reach not called something else? I think I'm wrong. I think they're all called that. And this was applying to all of those, no matter the super. But this appears to be fixed, so you can go ahead and use this in normal content now and actually play Arc 3.0 and things besides like story missions and at level seasonal activities. Tempest Strike, more problems with Tempest Strike. Master Catchcraft is getting its pinnacle now, so people were asking about that. You can buy the Loyal Companion thing, something, Stadia. Ornaments, Prime Rewards, and the Golgoroth sound. That has been fixed. So, I mean, this was a lot of the biggest issues where... Oh, they didn't say this in here, but the Titan arms are re-enabled, the new ones. I don't really like them because I don't like that punch because it doesn't fit with the art kit at all, and you have to unbind your melee or else it's kind of pointless. So I don't think those arms are good, personally. I could be wrong, but I am not really feeling those arms over other exotics in that slot. So anyway, that is the hotfix. The important thing really is that resilience is fixed because it was making that subclass borderline unusable for both Titans and Warlocks, and that is where we are. So I'm going to do some more grinding of seasonal stuff and play some Gambit because it's double XP, and I want to get the seasonal grenade launcher thing. And the pulse rifle is like Hawksaw. I want the new Gambit pulse rifle with some bonus perks on it. So got a lot of stuff to do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.